Now, the topic is make your moments count. No? Last night, I was walking my dog and I had to send off my mother-in-law, who is 82 years old, to the States. No? So yesterday we went to the airport and we had to take her there. 2 nights before that, we had to go and send away my brother and my sister-in-law. They also went to the States. And 6 days before that, my other sister-in-law also went to the States. No? So medyo meron akong konting separation anxiety. I was feeling a bit sad because people are leaving. And the title of this is Make Your Moments Count. And the reason why I think it's very important, especially now in the midst of pandemic, is because we are all being raffled. I keep saying that. I think you would agree with me because these are the very difficult times and we do not know if our number gets called. If you agree with me, kindly put number 1 on the chat box para alam ko naman that you guys are with me. If you agree with me that the times are more uncertain than they were before, please kindly message in your chat box that yes, hindi ko pala siya nakikita. Okay, I need to open it pala. All right. So I am seeing that, but I cannot read it. All right. So time management, ladies and gentlemen, and I'd like to start with this, is actually a little bit erroneous, I would say, because it's not really time management. Why? Because time moves exactly as it needs to move. Anong ibig kong sabihin? One minute is always composed of 60 seconds and 1 hour is always composed of 60 minutes. Hindi natin napipigil yan. It's basically self-management as far as time principles are concerned. No? So whether it is time management or stress management, the whole gamut of all these management things would always have to tell us that it's all about self-management. Okay? I would like you to note that. Okay. Now, my question is this your story? No? So, credit to the owner because I just saw this on Facebook and I was like, oh my goodness, this is how I am, admittedly. No? So, how many would say that this is like you? That this is how it is, no? 5 weeks before deadline, talagang ayaw kumilos ng sarili mo. Especially the students, pag nakita, naku, ang tagal pa niyan, November pa yan. Naku, ang tagal pa niyan, sa next week pa yan. So typically, you feel like you have all the time in the world and you don't actually go and get into the nitty-gritty of things and try to do your work, right? Pero pagdating ng 1 day before your deadline, tingnan mo naman, my brain is all hyped up, hot, no? And everything happens. No? Ang gagaling gumawa ng mga tao ng mabilisang trabaho because of not having enough time to do it because of the deadline. Do you agree with me? Let me see if I can look at the chat box. Makikita ko naman pala. All right. You guys can see the chat box as I open it? May I know if you can see the chat box as I open it?
No, ma'am.
Okay, very good. All right, thank you. Okay, so if this is like you, please say so. Just say 1 if this is like you. If this is not you, just say 2. Hindi po ako ganyan. Ayan, no? So, karamihan sa atin, we have a tendency, oh, I see 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So, for some, perhaps, there are individuals here who are very well, I would not like to say very well, but there are individuals here who might look like they are in control, and that's good. Congratulations. And if you are not like this, then it means that you're probably doing something right. Okay? So kasi karamihan sa atin, maybe not 1 day before. O sige, miss, hindi ako ganyan. How many days before the deadline would you start working? Sige nga, that's my question to all of you. Kunyari, I gave an assignment and it's 5 weeks before now. How many weeks or when would you start doing the first ever step for the project, even read it? No? Kailan mo titignan yan and babasahin in the chat box? Sabi nung iba, 1 hour. 3 weeks before deadline. Congratulations to you. Kapag deadline na po, I always start the project as long as it's already given. Congratulations to you. As soon as 1 week, right after it was given, wow. Regine, 2 weeks before deadline po, a day before the deadline. Okay, very good. I see tomorrow after the assignment given, wow. Okay, I see that we have a lot of responsible students and the workers here, whether you are a faculty member, a staff, or a student, congratulations if this is not your life. Because if this is your life, time management and stress management are highly correlated. Most of the time, people who do not have the self-management skills tend to be more stressed than others. Okay? So please just go on and comment as we go on with the talk. All right? Oh, so I have to. Okay. Okay, now it's not moving. See? There. It's not only us in this talk. It's not only a couple of people here. We are already in the culture of cramming. There are so many people. It's I don't know if it's just the Filipinos, but typically Filipinos like to do things. Kailan? When do Filipinos like to do things? Would like always last minute. Pag nagbigay ng 1 month for the people to register in the elections. We usually have the last week with so many people. Pag sinabing ang deadline ay 2 weeks before, 2 days before, ang daming tao. It's already a culture that we have developed. That's the reason why it's very difficult to be able to get over. No? It's already a culture. Now, what's the point of attending a short talk? This talk is an hour and a half. Do you think there will ever be a change? Okay, that's my question to you, all of you. Anong magagawa ng isang oras na time management talk para sa inyo? Those who would like to open their audios would be welcome to do so. And if you would just like to chat me, just put it in the group chat. Okay? Anong magagawa ng isang, honestly, real talk tayo. You spend 1 hour, let's say you're listening to Stephen Covey. Ako, mahal yan. Or to Oprah Winfrey. Or to somebody who's really good in time management and you are attending a very expensive talk. Very good. May matututunan kahit maliit na bagay. A big change in my everyday time. Influence us to learn. Okay, to enlighten us. Very good. Learning the equilibrium of all aspects of life. Wow, that's deep. It will make us reflect on our actions when it comes to managing our time. Okay. So I would like you to start to make a conscious decision this afternoon. Kasi mabilis po ang isang oras, and if you would not be able to take note of something that you will be able to apply in your life, baliwala po kahit na gaano kagaling ng speaker o gaano well. Of course, if the speaker is boring, that's another thing, no? Pero ang short talk would have a very, very little effect if you do not put it into practice. No? So, sabi nila, you are going to learn something. If this something is will go from this to this, baliwala din po yan. There are a lot of talks, there are a lot of available YouTube channels, and there may really be very interesting ones, no? But you have to make a conscious decision. When you hear something, you have to take note of it and you have to try to practice it. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, baliwala po, no? Baliwala po ang mangyayari sa atin this afternoon if there are things that would not change as far as your behavior is concerned. Huh? I've always used in all my talks the idea of being able to educate the head, the heart, and the hands, no? Because if the education is just in the head, matalino ka lang, pero wala naman sa puso mo, hindi mo gustong magbago. At gusto mo magbago ay hindi ka talaga kumikilos, it's not part of the hand. So it needs to be the education of the head, the heart, and the hands. It needs to be something that goes into the head, is felt and wanted by the person, and the person tries to do action in order for it to become a real life learning. Huh? Okay. Now here are some facts, ladies and gentlemen. Time is an equal opportunity resource. What does that mean? Kahit po payat ako at merong iba na medyo heavyweight, it doesn't mean I have less time than others. Hindi porket mayaman ka, meron kang 32 hours. Hindi porket mahirap ako, 12 hours lang sa akin. Time is one of the greatest equalizers of life. No matter how ganda, how pretty you are, how ugly you are, how poor you are, how thin you are, how tall you are, everyone, all of us are given 24 hours a day. No? Interesting. Because it is an equal opportunity resource. No? So it means that all of us are given this resource every day. It is renewed. What else? Time is something that is not, it's an unusual commodity. It cannot be saved. Hindi natin siya masisave. So hindi pwedeng, uy, naku, meron ako extra oras ngayon. Pwede ko ilagay bukas para bukas, 26 hours na ako. Magsisave ako ng 2 hours a day para dun sa day na exam ko, I have another extra 8 hours. It's something that we cannot save. Unlike money, unlike clothes, hindi po natin nasisave ang oras. It goes, it comes and goes, as easy as that. Huh? Time is a non-renewable resource. Anong ibig sabihin yan? If time runs out, then it's done. When it passes, di ba nga sabi nila, tapos na yung moment. Wala na, hindi ko na pwedeng sabihin sa kanya. Wala na, nagdaan na yung moment. Naiiyak ka. Biglang may sinabi siya. Wala na, the moment has passed by. Nawala na yung loved ones mo. No? It's something that is non-renewable. It's not something that you can buy. Unlike health, well, for instance, I was a victim of COVID and I was able to get better. Huh? So some of you might have also experienced COVID and you got better. And let's say you do not have enough love. Ayan, may oras pa. Kung kunyari ikaw ay walang boyfriend or girlfriend. Renewable yan. Ibig sabihin, you can still go and look for love even if you got broken up with another person. But if it's time that would be running out, it's done. No? It's something that we cannot renew. It's something that we cannot take back. So this moment is something that you are giving to me. Hindi nyo na po pwedeng bawiin sa akin kahit na nabore kayo at ayaw nyo nang makinig. As long as you are here, you are spending every second right now with me. No? And I cannot repay you with it anymore. It's gone. The last 5 minutes is gone. It cannot be renewed anymore. What else? Time seems to pass by at varying degrees. Kapag kapag kunyari ang teacher mo sobrang boring, anong napapansin mo? Okay, I'd like to open the group chat. Ano napapansin mo kapag medyo boring, no? Pag boring ang teacher, o kaya pag nandun ka sa classroom nakakaantok, ano napapansin mo sa oras? Ayun, tama. Napakabagal ng oras. Kunyari, miss ngayon, parang ang tagal-tagal mo na nagsasalita. 3 minutes pa lang bumabagal for some reason. That's the reason. No? It's like magic because when you're having fun, there's this really old song by Gloria Stefan. It goes like, time flies when you're having fun. Di ba? Pag enjoy na enjoy, kapag tawa ka ng tawa, before you know it, hala, Isang oras na pala, tapos na pala. Pag nag-e-enjoy ka sa kausap mo, ang bilis ng oras. Kapag nag-e-enjoy ka sa kunyari, nagbabakasyon ka, before you know it, third day na tayo, alis na tayo dito sa Boracay, sayang naman. Pero pag nandyan ka at kunyari, you're doing something that you are not so into doing, let's say, ang bagal-bagal. Kapag sinesermonan ka ng nanay mo, kapag nagsimula na siya, anak, halika dito. Naku, parang yung oras pinipilit mo. Dahil for whatever reason, it seems to pass by at varying degrees. And when you're having fun, it seems to be faster. And when things are a bit sad, it seems to be dragging, no? The magic of time. No? Now, it says here that time is free, but it's priceless. Hindi nabibili po ang oras. You can't own it. Hindi ka pwedeng magkaroon. You can't really own. We don't own our time. You can't own it, but you can use it. So sabi sa atin, binibigyan kita ng 24 hours. You cannot keep it. You cannot own it, but you can use it. Use it wisely. You can't keep it, but you can spend it. Spend it with people you love. Spend it doing important things. Spend it doing noble things. Once you've lost it, you'll never get it back. Now, I'd like to introduce you to the idea of Chronos and Kairos. Who has an idea what Chronos and Kairos is? Kilala niyo po ba sila? Chronos and Kairos. Who knows what Chronos and Kairos is? Any idea? Okay, there's someone in the chat. God of time. Yes, mga gods po sila. They are Greek gods. And Chronos, actually medyo nako-confuse sila kay Chronos kasi may Chronos yung tatay ni Zeus, no? And the idea, medyo gross nga kasi yung tatay ni Zeus, Zeus was one of the children of the Chronos with a K. And he eats his children in order that he remains to be the only powerful one, no? But Chronos is the god of time. Actually, when you think of Chronos, it is the numerical time. Ilang minutes na ba nagtutok si Miss Annie? Anong oras na ba? Anong date ba ngayon? Kailan ka ba aalis? No? So that is Chronos. It is specific. It's 1 minute. It's 2 minutes. It's 2 days. It's November 15. These are Chronos. What about Kairos? No? Kairos, it's kind of the quality. Kairos is like moments. Can you think of Kairos in your life? So when you say Chronos, it is the talk today, October. What is today? What is today nga ba? Today is October 25. It's Monday. It's 2:31 in the afternoon. So that is Chronos. Kaya nga yung mga relos natin, di ba? Chronological, pagkakasunod-sunod. What about Kairos? When we talk about Kairos, Kairos is basically, it has something spiritual. It's like moments. Kindly think, yes, it's a fleeting moment. It is a moment when something magical, religious, something strong happens, and it's something that is captured in your heart, actually, no? So what is a Kairos moment for you? Can you give an example of Kairos? So si Kronos, nagbigay na ako ng example. What about Kairos? Who has an idea what Kairos is? Okay, let me think of my Kairos. My Kairos was when I got married to my husband. God of opportunity. Thank you, Elijah. Well, yes, it's a God of opportunity. It is when opportunities come. And these are moments, no? Ito yung tinatawag natin na moments, no? So can you think of your own Kairos celebration of your debut? Yan, Kairos yan. The moment when your loved one who was sick opened his eyes and then he said, I think I'm getting better. The moment if you have a son or daughter, when they are born, when you have that 10 minutes with your father who is very busy. That is Kairos. The moment when you felt close to this person and you said, mukhang magiging best friend ko to. Ayan, no? Thank you, Marilu Tayag, no? Opportunity, timelines of an argument, often for an ad or an argument to be successful, it needs appropriate tone and structure and come at the right time. Okay, right time, right moments. Yes, the moment of change of life. So, in order for us to be able to be attuned with our kairoses, no? Yung mga moments, sa mga quality moments natin, yung mga moments natin with our loved ones, important opportunities in our lives, we need to be able to take care of our chronos, no? So we need to be able to assume that all these things are in order for us to be able. Paano kung kunyari nagka-cram ka, kailangan mo nang isubmit ang mga assignments mo. And yet, yung kaibigan mo magba-birthday. Kailangan mong pumunta, syempre. But, it's a hook. It's, it's something that you need to pass deadline. So, you will pass up on your kairos if you don't take care of your chronos. No? Pag hindi mo naaasikaso yung mga dapat mong gawin on the deadlines or before their deadlines or on those dates, you will not be able to take care of these things. Let me go with a poem, which I really like. No? To realize the value of 1 year as a student who has failed an exam. To realize the value of 1 month, ask a mother who has given birth to a premature baby. To realize the value of 1 week, ask an editor of a weekly newspaper. To realize the value of 1 hour, ask the lovers who are waiting to meet. Siyempre, pag ang lovers, talagang excited yan. To realize the value of 1 minute, ask the person who has missed the train, bus, or plane. To realize the value of 1 second, ask a person who has survived an accident, split accident when almost na-hit siya. To realize the value of even 1 millisecond, ask the person who has won a silver medal in the Olympics. Time waits for no one. Treasure every moment you have. You will treasure it even more when you share it with someone special. So do you think time is important? Is time important? I would like to assume that all of you would say that it is. Okay? So my next question is, why don't people manage their time? If it is so important, how come we are not managing our time? How come a lot of us are crammers? Bakit kaya? Bakit tumanda akong crammer? Because of procrastination. Because they think that there's always a chance for tomorrow. No? Laging may bukas. Because it becomes a norm. Meaning to say, it becomes a way of life. No? What else? Laging may dahilan. All right? No? So, the reason why you are here is because either you have been invited or you would like to learn something and you would like to apply it. So, it means that we would like to apply some of the principles that we would be learning today. Okay, nasanay na. Okay, thank you for your answers. Well, some people, they don't know about it. Hindi ko nga alam, kaya nga po ako nag-a-attend ng mga time management skills, seminar training. Kaya nga po ako nagbabasa. And that's a good thing because it means that if you don't know something about it, then you have to look for something in order for you to learn about it. So hindi lang yung they don't know about it. What else? They're too lazy to plan. Nakakatamad aayusin, i-organize. Hayaan mo na, no? A lot of us actually wake up clueless. Pagising mo sa umaga, wala kang ka-idea, ano ba dapat kong gawin? Anong araw ba ngayon? Especially now, during the pandemic, that the structure is already lost for a lot of us. Well, for those individuals who are quite self-disciplined, meron pa rin yan, may structure pa rin yan sa buhay nila. But for a lot of people who have been struggling even before the pandemic with their self-management as far as time principles are concerned, lalong nahihirapan yan kasi seamless na eh. What do I mean seamless? Nandyan ka naman even before the pandemic started, a lot of us were already on Facebook, a lot of us were already in front of their laptops or gadgets. But now, you are there having your exam. You are there taking your classes. You are there talking to people. You are there having fun. You are there looking at TikTok. You are there doing Facebook. The seamlessness seems to confuse a lot of people kasi iba yung papasok ka, pupunta ka sa school, may structure. Makikinig ka sa teacher. Pag uwi mo, may gagawin kang assignments. And that actually puts a little bit of structure. But now when you wake up, you don't necessarily need to immediately go and take a bath because you don't need to go and travel. If your class is early, then all you need to do is open your Zoom or your Google Meet or whatever it is that you're using. And there it is. Pwede ka nga kakagising mo lang without doing anything. Just put on a shirt and then go to class. So a lot of people find it difficult. That's the reason why it's one of the things that concern a lot of teachers. Kasi yung mga estudyante nahihirapan din, no? At actually, a lot of us are self-declared lazy. Nakakatamad na kasi nandito lang ako lagi sa bahay. Ano pa bang difference? You don't feel the difference anymore. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, that we are being reintroduced to the outside world, then dapat in principle, we should have learned a lot. How many of you learned a lot of things that they were not aware of before the pandemic? Sige nga, how many of you took the initiative to actually learn something during the pandemic when school was not there or when school was just quite lenient and you had every time, all the time in the world, 24/7, nandiyan ka lang sa bahay mo, no? So how many of you learned something? Ayan. Okay, what did you learn? What did you learn over the pandemic? Marketing webinar, very good. So there are people who take opportunities. Yun na nga yung Kairos. Hindi sila, parang binabantayan lang nila yung oras, 3 o'clock na, 4 o'clock na. Nanonood na lang ako ng Netflix, dinala siya sa Netflix. Oh, 7 o'clock na, dinner na lang. Okay? Now, there are people who take opportunities even in the midst of the pandemic. And that is my challenge to you. Kasi hanggang ngayon naman, hindi pa rin tayo masyadong free. The virus is still out there, and I know that a lot of things have taken place in our lives, no? So we have been affected by the economy, health, anxiety, our mental health. Actually, the reason why this is being given is because it's Mental Health Month, and a lot of people have somehow, one way or another, been affected by COVID. I've learned how to handle something alone. Well, we are forced to. We are forced to do that because whether we like it or not, especially if you have been exposed to COVID, you would have to really self-isolate for 2 weeks. Imagine being on your own in a room, having to do things and just not seeing anyone there, live person. Kaya nga ngayon, miss na miss mo na yung tao eh. You, like right now, I'm just seeing myself. I'm talking to a monitor, no? So very good that Clarissa is doing a lot of things that are not in the comfort zone. That's a very good thing because we are, we are creatures of habits, no? And then there are people who enjoy the adrenaline rush. Ang sarap nung idea na you beat the deadline. Na pag sinabi, huy, nasubmit mo na ba? Parang ikaw, shucks, hindi pa. Parang yung rush mo, nung katawan mo ay parang, whoa! Tapos pag na-submit mo, tapos you get a really good grade, what happens? No? Who agrees with me in that story? No? Now, if you are feeling that, the adrenaline rush, and you enjoy it, you become addicted to it. Kasi, what is it? If, ladies and gentlemen, you can fit time, kinaya mo na gawin yung project mo in 2 hours and you got a good grade, what does that say to you? Isipin mo, the project has been given 3 weeks before. You did it in 2 hours. You got a good grade. And you love the idea of being challenged that way, the rush of the adrenaline. You wait for your muse. They call it the muse of creativity. Ayan. Na kapag tinatamad pa ako, ba't hindi mo pa ginagawa yung ano mo? Kasi Tsaka na lang. Tapos eto na, wala nang oras, ayan na, tumataas ng adrenaline niya. And then, you like to beat the deadline. Yan na. And then it becomes a habit. And it becomes something that you do all the time. After you are in school, even you apply these things. And habits become very hard to break until you are already professionals. You find yourself enjoying the adrenaline rush. Matanda ka na, palagi ka pa rin deadline driven. Matanda ka na, hindi ka pa rin on time. Matanda ka na, hindi ka pa rin organized. No? So the thing is, there are people who don't really do that because they enjoy it. They get away with it. You get away with it. Sabihin mo, sila tatlong linggo na nila ginagawa yan. Tinan mo grade. 85. Ano grade ko? 89. I got an 89 for doing a 2-hour work. Ha! Kayang-kaya. See? So, that is one thing. Another thing is, well, they enjoy, no, crisis management. Ang ganda ng pakiramdam kapag you are able to solve it. It's almost similar to that of the adrenaline rush. Crisis management is being able to resolve things even though they are so chaotic already, no? Kaya nga actually may mga taong crisis managers na, nagiging professional crisis managers na sila kasi sila yung pag meron kang ginagawang rush, kayang-kaya niyang mga taong yan. Bakit? Kasi kinalakihan na nila yan. Sanay na sila sa beating the deadline. No? Now, part of it as well, which is not here in my talk, okay, it is within their culture. Filipino culture would dictate, no, that kapag nagde-debut, di ba? Anong nilalagay nyo pag sinabing 4 o'clock? Oops, sorry. How can I go back? Okay. When I say 4 o'clock, pag sinabi ko, ang debut po ay 4 o'clock, what time do people think it is? Kultura natin yan eh, no? So when they say 4 o'clock, anong oras tayo? 5 o'clock. Ayan. So ganito, you are going to be celebrating your debut, tapos sasabihin mo, Mami, anong lalagay natin sa sa oras ng debut? Ay nako anak, mga late ang mga Pilipino. So, kahit na ang program natin i-start natin ng 6 o'clock, let's put what time? Let's put 4:30. Yan, 4 or 4:30. Sige, I like it that you guys butt in. Mas gusto ko nakakarinig ng tao. Okay? So, let's put it at 4. Mga walang naman yun, patawad naman yung 4 o'clock kasi 2 hours pa yung 2 hours pa yung program. Yung iba, they put it at 4:30, an hour and a half. Kasi they think that people would start. Ikaw naman, pag nakita mo yung program, nakita mo 4:30, being the regular, typical Filipino that you are, 4:30, nako, ang start nito, mga 5:30 or 6 pa. Halika, dumating na lang tayo ng 6:00. Ayan. It is a bad thing. It is Filipino time and it's bad that it's, people, at minsan, kinikilabutan tayo kapag nagsa-start on time yung mga tao. Bakit nag-start on time? Hala, totoo nga, 4 o'clock nga. Diba? Because we became so used to it that we don't bother anymore. Kaya nakakahiya dun sa mga taong naturally on time. Pag mag-get together kayo ng mga kaibigan mo, diba? Kilala na kung sino yung the late Annie Mendoza. No? The late whoever. Kasi pag sila ang dumating, nako, asahan mo, late yan. Okay? And we begin to accept our own personalities and our own flaws that everybody accepted just the same. Kaya nakakahiya kapag kunyari ang speaker ay foreigner. Nagugulat sila. Kunyari magbe-break. Ang tagal bago bumalik kasi nasasanay na papasok-pasok. Kapag nagmisa, no, sa mass, minsan yung iba dinudugtong pa or whatever your religion is. Of course, we respect all religions here. If you are a Christian or a Muslim, I don't know how much, but my mom is an Iglesia ni Cristo, and with them, they are actually not allowed after a certain time. No? So sila, kung wala ka sa oras, sarado ang pintuan ng kapilya nila. No? Imagine if they do that in the Catholic Church. Nako, ang daming nasa labas palagay ko, no? You agree with me? Who among you here are members of the Iglesia ni Cristo? Or, di ba? Tayo kasi, it is within our culture. Another thing, it is sometimes within our personalities already. There are people with the kind of personalities that are so disorganized, no? I would actually be part of that, no? I will join your boat because sometimes I am scattered brain, no? And time management and being organized and stress management, these are three things which are intertwined. If you're a person with discipline, chances are you have prepared for yourself. You know the deadlines, you know people's birthdays, you know when the events are coming, you are not clueless. So the tendency is for you to be less stressed than others. You agree with me? And if you are a little bit scatterbrained, medyo no idea, clueless what's happening, paggising mo pa lang, ano meron? Ay, ngayon pala yung submission, naku, patay ako, sige, let me. Okay, ganyan ka palagi. So, ang taas palagi ng stress level mo. So, everything is interconnected. Being organized, actually, being organized is also part of how our brains are wired, no? Our executive functioning is in the frontal lobe. Sometimes you will see, bata pa lang ma-observe mo na kung sino dito yung mga may anak na nakikita mo naman na iba-iba ang personalidad ng bawat tao. Just like our fingers, iba-iba ang bawat isa dito. And we need to be able to improve in our own way. We need to be able to accept ourselves and accept that after accepting the flaws, then we start to fix it. Okay? So minsan, syempre, pinanggagalingan din yan ng conflict. Don't you agree? Sino dito ang mga usually on time? Type 1 if you are on time. At sino dito yung more often than not, nalilate? Okay? So hindi naman palaging on time or hindi naman palaging late pero nalilate. Mas may tendency malate. Okay?
Sometimes, ma'am.
Sometimes, okay. No? So, you have to always give, okay, you can really be very vicious when it comes to time, but you have to be a little gentler when it comes to people. Okay, I know that it's good to be organized. I know that it's good to always be on time, but of course, we have to also value, and we have to value people more. You have to value relationships more. Sometimes, ayan, meron tayong argument eh. Sometimes it's better to be kind than to be right. Minsan. Okay, and I know that not everyone would agree with me kasi minsan there are individuals who are really right and they live their lives in the very prim and proper ways, no? So ang ganda. Kaya lang other people are also not like that. So minsan they feel so ano ba naman yan, hindi ba ayusin ang buhay mo, bakit hindi ka nagsasubmit on, you know? And sometimes because we are so organized and we tend to be perfectionist also, then we might even get into hurting other people and, you know, stepping on their toes because they're not as organized as us. No? So these are just some of the thoughts and notes that we should be taking care of. Okay. Now, the main idea is for us to be able to achieve balance. To be able to put that right balance, yung hindi naman lahat school. I know that there are a lot of you here who may be really achievement-oriented, achievers, no? Gusto nila, maganda grades nila, gusto nila perfect ang kanilang isasubmit na assignments, no? So, it's good. It's good that you are driven by that and you probably would be successful. However, you have to strike a balance. And I'm sure if there are faculty members here, I have worked with some MBC faculty members who seem to be perfectionists. Talagang they spend so much of their time taking care of their students, taking care of all the computations, taking care of checking all the papers, that sometimes they do not have any more time for themselves. Okay, so ayan, oras ang pinag-uusapan natin. And self-care is one of this, no? Hindi po pwedeng you will just put your health in the line, no? Hindi po pwedeng just because of work. Sabi nga nila, in your deathbed, nobody ever thought of spending more time in the office. Diba? Sinasabi nila, wala ka namang regret kapag namatay ka na sana mas marami kang na-answer na emails o mas marami kang na-answer na report. Not to put down quality work in reporting, not to put down quality work in academics. Hindi ko sinasabi yon. What I'm saying is that everybody should be able to put and learn where your balance is. No? If you are one person who is more disorganized than others, then it means that you need to spend more time in trying to organize your life than others. Kasi syempre siya, sa simula pa lang, being present, okay? One tip, being present, being here right now, taking note of things right now, then listening. Let's say there is a recording and let's say your teacher is allowing you to record the class. Okay, tendencies to ha, students, I'm talking to you. For instance, right at the moment, right now, I'm sure that a lot of your tabs are open and you're probably talking, you're probably looking at your Facebook, you're probably eating something. This is a world of multitasking. And I don't really truly believe so much the multitasking idea because you really need to focus. Otherwise, all your work will be half-baked. No? To be present in the moment right now, you have decided to attend this webinar. Therefore, it's good that you are here and for you to note all the things that might be applicable to you. If it's a class and it is being recorded, and, okay, sabi mo, nakakatamad naman, boring naman, mamaya ko na lang aaralin yan, meron namang recording na pinoprovide si teacher, no? Sasayangin mo yung oras mo mamaya. Instead of being here now, taking note of these things and asking your questions, meron kang hindi naintindihan. Ladies and gentlemen, meron kang hindi naintindihan dun sa teacher. Okay? Write it right now. Now is the moment for you to ask. Why? Because later on, if you would ask your classmate, it's just like blind people leading blind people, the blind leading the blind. Bakit? Paano mo sigurado na naintindihan ng classmate mo yan? And you are also spending his or her precious time. No? To be in the moment is one of the tips that you can learn in time management. Nandyan ka, kausap ka ng nanay mo, kausapin mo ang nanay mo. You don't know when the next time, if the next time will come. Uma-attend ka dyan, be there. So perhaps some of you may ask, Miss, what would I choose? Doing an assignment or being with a friend who's crying? You tell me. No? To-do list. Thank you, Clarissa. Yes, no? So for us to be able to achieve the balance, you need to know more about who you are. Paano ka ba mag-manage ng sarili mo pagdating sa mga oras na kailangan mong gawin ang mga bagay? Anong klaseng estudyante ka ba? Anong klaseng empleyado ka ba? Anong klaseng worker ka ba? Paano mo ba ma-manage ang sarili mo in order that your life would be a quality life, in order that you would have a lot of moments? Paano ka? Okay, so that's the question. And I ask that to you. No? So what are the things that you need to look into? What are your roles? Oh, so it's different when like a student would tell me, Miss, sorry, I need to leave this class because I need to take my child to the hospital. Drop everything. Kahit pa-test yan, kahit pa ano yan, drop everything. This is health we're talking about. That's your role as a parent. That's your role as a daughter. No? You need to be able to know what your roles are. We are sons, daughters, students. Let's say you are part of an organization. Let's say you are a girlfriend or a boyfriend. You are a friend, a cousin. We play so many roles. No? What are the different areas that we need to look into? Hindi lang pwedeng lahat yan academic. Hindi lang pwedeng lahat yan personal. Magsasuffer ang academic mo. The faculty members would tell you, nasan yung estudyante yan? Palaging wala sa klase. And even though, let me tell you, even though it is a very important thing that you always attend to, then we would question you. We would tell you, dear, it looks like your plate is full. It looks like you have the roles are, overlapping already. Your role as a member of your family seem to be bigger than your role as a student. Now, okay lang naman for as long as okay lang sa'yo yung tamang grade. Okay na yan, miss, kasi uh, I know what I am. I know my roles. I know the areas that I need to put into, no, more of my effort. So, for instance, you are also the breadwinner of your family, and you are taking MBC as a student. Let's say you are a part-time student, and you are also a mom. You are a full-time mom, or you are a full-time dad, or you're the only one who is earning for your family. So yes, there are things that you will have to sacrifice. No, there are things that you cannot be at two places at the same time. You cannot be attending to your daughter, attending to your mom. Well, some of us can juggle that. Merong magaling talaga eh, no? Nagno-note, tapos nag-aasikaso. Kaya lang minsan, you will wear yourself out at wala ka ng oras para sa sarili mo. First is self-care. You need to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others, no? Paano kung lahat sila tinulungan mo, lahat sila pinagsilbihan mo, lahat sila inasikaso mo? Paano ka na? Sinong mag-aasikaso sa'yo? No? So it has to be us. Self-care muna, and then you try to do your roles. You try to do the different areas, okay? Like katulad sa fireman, I think some of us here already know, no? Kapag when a fireman enters a building, a burning building, and he sees a victim, he would do what? It's called the fireman scary. How is that? Bakit fireman scary? Do you know a fireman scary? What is that? Meron ba kayo idea kung ano ang fireman scary? You can open your audio para malaman ko. Is everybody still listening? Type 1. If everybody's still listening, type 1. Thank you. Okay. Everybody, do you have an idea of what a fireman scary is? Meron ba? May idea? Meron ba dito?
Correct way to carry an injured person?
Yes, it is a way to carry an injured person. In what manner? No? Okay. Tama yun,
In a
Janet.
careful manner.
Yes, in a careful manner. But a fireman scary actually is carrying the victim here, no? Parang nilalagay niya dito. No? Tapos, okay, so to demonstrate, demonstrate pa ako na. Kunyari, a shirt. Kunyari, ito yung tao. Nakaganyan sa kanya. No? Or nakaganon sa kanya. Actually, pa ganon. Hawak niya, if I'm not mistaken. No? Yeah, on the shoulder. Now, kapag merong bumagsak na something from the roof, let's say fire or something, anong ginagawa ng fireman? Anyone knows? Sige, anybody can just go on the audio. Anong ginagawa kapag nakikita nyo? Kung nakapanood na kayo ng fireman, a movie about a fireman, or if you have seen someone rescue another person from a burning building and you will see them like that, anong ginagawa nila? What do they do? When something falls, what would the fireman do?
Tinatabi mo na yung kinary nila sa shoulder, din doon na sila sa parang ere-rescue or ililipat nila dun sa mas safe na lugar. Yung
Okay. So, ang sabi ni ma'am, nilalagay sa gilid, tumatabi muna sila, di ba? Okay. Now, kapag hindi sila makakatabi at pabagsak na right in the head of the fireman, anong ginagawa ng fireman?
Yuyuko po yung ma'am, yung fireman po. Tapos, lagi po silang may di ba, helmet. Tapos yung injured po na nirescue nila, isasandal po nila sa todo nila, tapos tsaka po nila aakapin.
Ang gagawin nila, ilalagay nila sa shoulder nila, tapos ano, Mark? Go ahead.
Tapos yuyuko po sila parehas, ma'am. Tapos,
Uupo sila parehas.
Opo, ma'am. Opo. Actually, po pala, ma'am, lulod po.
Okay. They sacrifice po. Sinasalo yung pagbagsak na gamit. Okay. Talaga, who else has an idea of what they do? Okay. Okay. Actually, Eunice, it's a different, it's the other way around, no? Okay, this is a good insight for you to know, no? The fireman would protect himself. The fireman would protect himself from whatever is falling using the victim's body. Yes. Yes, no? Parang nagtaka ka, ba't ganun, miss? Eh, di ba? Tama, no? I see your face. Buti na lang, hindi, ganyan ka na lang, Jenilyn, kasi gusto ko nakakita ng tao. Okay. So, nakita ko yung face mo, yung papa ko po fireman, and they prioritize the victim po kaysa sarili nila. You know, of course, whenever there's a chance for you to be able to do that, they do that. Of course, they prioritize. Thank you. How do you pronounce your name? Sig or Kaiser? Okay.
Kaiser po.
Okay, si Kaiser. You know what? If the fireman, you have the question, bakit nila igaganon? Diba? Parang sinasabi mo, parang hindi SOP ang tinuturo mo sa amin, Miss Ania. Why would they do that to the victim? Eh, pinoprotect nga nila yung victim nila. Tama? Yun yung facial expression nyo. Na ba't ganon? Mali. Because if they will be the one who will get injured, then the two of them will die. Kunyari, siya binagsakan at na-injure siya, hindi niya na rin masisave yung unconscious victim. Dalawa na sila. Yes, of course, as much as they can protect the victim, they will protect the victim. Kung pwedeng itabi in order for the fireman to be able to make his way out and get the victim out, good. Pero ang importante, you need to protect yourself first in order that you can drag that person out. See? What else? In an airplane, whenever there is turbulence or if the airplane is having difficulty and then bumagsak, anong typically babagsak sa aeroplano? Inside the airplane, if that happens? Thank you, Siaga. You ask your dad. You ask your dad if there is that principle of being able to protect yourself first so that you can carry your victim out. Please ask your dad that, no? Because that's one principle that you need to be able to carry the victim out. And if you are unconscious yourself, then the two of you will die, no? Doon naman sa airplane, di ba anong mga bumabagsak? For those of you who have already taken flights, no? Anong bumabagsak kapag nagkaroon ng matinding turbulence? Anong bumabagsak?
Yung may oxygen o yung
Very good. Ano ang
oxygen.
Ano ang instructions kapag may kasama kang anak? Kapag may kasama kang handicap?
Unahin po yung sarili bago yung anak.
Precisely. In order for one to be able to help another, you need to have that help available. Nakukuha nyo? Kaya minsan parang sinasabi nyo, ang selfish, miss, di ba? Parang, ba't ganon? Ba't unahin niya? Kasi hindi niya matutulungan yung anak niya. If it's something, let's say there is a fume coming out, tapos inuna niya yung anak niya, binigyan niya kunyari ng oxygen, no? Nauna na, tapos nahimatay na siya. What will happen to the son or the daughter or whoever is debilitated? Kung ikaw yung able body, ikaw yung dapat na okay. Diba? Kaya what will happen? Kaya minsan pag they extinguish fires and rescue people in any type of calamities like collapse. Yes, of course. Thank you, Jashel. Now, because you can no longer help others if you do not have the strength. Diba? That's why the carers, the caregivers need to do self-care for themselves too. They also need to take a break. Kaya pag nakita mo yung teacher mo, nagti-TikTok, sabi mo, ano ba naman to si ma'am? Nagti-TikTok. Eh minsan, ganun talaga, nagdi-distress siya or nakita mo na grabe, kasi everybody needs to be able to de-stress, to have time for themselves, to protect themselves in order that they can protect others as well. No? So nakita nyo na yung importansya that even though I know a lot of you, a lot of MBC students actually are also earning for their families. And sometimes hindi na natutulog yung iba dyan sa dami. Meron kaming mga nagde-deliver, meron kaming mga estudyante na nagtitinda online, meron kaming mga estudyante na merong mga businesses, but it's good that you are helping others. But it's better and it's best if you yourself are protected. Look at our frontliners. Para kuhain ng isang COVID victim, they are so protected that sometimes at first we feel like pinandidirihan tayo kung may COVID tayo, tama? They are in PPEs. Everything is protected. Why? They are the carers. They know what to do with you. At ladies and gentlemen, if these are the individuals who will tire themselves out, then if they are the ones who will break down, sila ang mas stress, sila ang magkaroon ng mental health problem because of all the things, of all the people that they are caring for. What will happen to us who do not have the skill set to take care of others? So I hope I'm making myself clear for you, for each one of you, especially those who are very selfless here, yung mga taong walang inisip na kundi ang ibang tao. Kudos to you, but you need to take care of yourself too. Okay. Wait lang, sorry. Thank you for all those people who are participating. So you need to take care of your roles, your areas, and you need to know what tasks there are. Ano yung mga kailangan kong gawin? Katulad ngayon, clueless ako kanina. I'm supposed to submit something. Tapos minessage ako nung isang AA. Tapos sabi niya, Miss, napagalitan ako. Oh no! That is me. That is my responsibility. And the thing is, if we are not responsible, then we will drag other people with us. Kung ikaw ay late, kung ikaw ay hindi responsible, kung ikaw ay hindi nagmamanage ng sarili mong buhay, chances are you will drag somebody with you. Ka-groupmate mo, madadamay mo. Then you begin to ask, why don't people not like me to be a part of their group mates? Lagi naman nila akong kinakausap and everything, but ayaw nila sa akin. No? Not because nabubuli ka, but maybe you can also ask yourself, am I irresponsible? Am I one who does not know? Am I like a headless chicken in the morning? You know what a headless chicken is? Pag tinanggalan mo, naglalakad pa siya, pero it does not know where it's going. No? So these are the things that you need to ask yourself. Okay, start with the self. Know yourself very well. Alamin mo, the first thing that one has to do in order for one to become a better person is for one to admit to his flaws. Paano ka gagaling kung ayaw mo aminin na may sakit ka? Tama? Iinom ka ba ng gamot kung pakiramdam mo wala kang sakit? Diba? So, people, especially now, diba, inubo, nilagnat, in denial. Kung in denial ka, ayaw mong tanggapin na possibly may COVID ka, right? So you would not take precautions dahil ayaw mong tanggapin na may COVID ka, hindi ka rin na-act na may COVID ka. So if that happens, chances are again, you will drag somebody with you. So you start with yourself. Know who you are, know your flaws. Like right now, I am asking you, what are the major time management bad habits that you have? Answer me right now, all of you. What do you think, we're starting with the self, what do you think are the bad habits as far as time management is concerned do you have? What are these things? So isip ka, ano ba yung tendency ko? Ano ba yung mga bad tendencies ko about time management issues? Write it down. Let's see. Let's see people share, no? So, sorry, yes, do share. Let me just reach for my glass of water. Okay, what are your time management bad habits? Okay. Siyempre, naka-direct message sila sa akin lahat. Ang cute. Sige, okay. So, one person says, nagwo-worry, pero wala namang ginagawa. Yung isa naman, sinasacrifice niya yung sleep niya. Yung ang cute nyo kasi some people are, you see how different we are? Some people are very private. Miski dito naisip niya, ayoko i-share sa lahat. Didiretso ko na lang kay Miss Annie. Okay, I'm back. Everybody can hear me? Everybody's back too?
Yes po.
Yes po.
Hi, Danielle. Alam mo,
Yes po.
Yes po, ma'am.
alam kita. All right. Okay. Now I see, no? Some people have actually shared. Yung iba, sobra ng dami ng oras in spending so much time as far as the school work is concerned, which is actually okay because that's your priority being students. But again, some of them actually said that they do not have any more time for themselves. There are people who tend to actually relax a lot but react towards the end. Yung pagdating sa dulo, doon na siya nagre-react, no? Doon na siya nagpapanic, doon na siya nasa stress, doon na siya nag-anxiety and everything. So, we all have our own ways and habits. That's the reason why if you ask people, Miss, anong ginagawa mo? Paano nag-work sa'yo? No? Especially those people who are very much organized. For some people, it comes very naturally to be organized. No? As I told you, bata pa lang nakikita mo na yung mga batang nagliligpit ng mga gamit nila. You don't really teach them or you do actually model behavior. For parents here, for those who are who have youngsters at home, merong mga gumagaya sa inyo. These things are actually caught. Hindi siya, mas mahirap siyang iutos, mas maganda siyang i-model. What do I mean? A lot of the things that we are right now, no? Kung paano tayo ngayon, pansinin mo kung anong pag-uugali mo, anong ways mo, anong time management skill mo, anong stress management skill mo. These are of our genes, no? Our genes, syempre, there are people whose temperaments are more relaxed than others. There are people whose temperaments are more driven than others. There are people whose temperaments are more, cheerful than others, no? So pag makikita mo, ay si Miss Annie, ang kulit-kulit talaga niyan. Okay, because probably I am sanguine and some people are more chill. Kahit na parang tipong meron ng nasusunog dyan, naisip pa niya, ay, nasusunog. Yan, no? Ayan na. Tinalaukan ako ng manok. All right. So anyway, we have a lot of looking into the self. We have a lot of asking ourselves, what am I doing wrong and what do I need to do right as far as time management is concerned? Ano ang kailangan kong simulan? Kahit na ngayong hapon lang, meron akong kailangang gawin. Anong message ko sa sarili ko? Anong dapat kong gawin? And I know that the motivation to do that is so difficult. Tama ang manok. I get distracted, sorry. I get really distracted. Auditory din kasi ako, no? So, you have to ask yourself and you have to want to do something, no? You have to do something so bad. You have to want you have to want to do something bad enough in order for you to be able to do it. Kasi kapag hindi mo masyadong gusto ang isang bagay, di ba pag meron ka nagustuhan, kunyari sa TikTok may nagustuhan kang what do you call this, dance step, di ba inaaral mo? At hanggat hindi mo inaaral maganda, kasi gusto mo rin mag-TikTok, so you do it. It means that you want that thing bad enough, that's why you had it. No? Kunyari, yung pagtapos ng project mo, kailangan na talaga eh. Di ba kinaya mo rin naman? Come to think of it, kinaya mo rin naman siya in 2 hours. Kung yung 2 hours na yan, nilipat mo dun sa harapan instead na dyan sa panic mode mo, at nilipat mo siya sa harapan, then you have all the time in the world to review or you have all the time in the world to watch TikTok and all the time in the world to spend time with the people who matter to you. Okay? Right, I cannot find my cursor. Okay, there it is. Madaling araw na. Okay. Now, you need to evaluate your use of time. Paano mo ginagamit ang oras mo? Okay, we are going down the stairs now in the spiral. Well, it is something of a soul searching that you need to do. How do you evaluate? How do you spend your time? saan mo ginagamit ang oras mo? And how do you do that? Okay. Paano natin magagawa yun, Miss? Paano ko malalaman? Yes? Sorry, okay. All right. So how do you do that? You ask yourself. This is something we call a time circle. And I would like you to do that later on. So, anong gusto kong gawin mo after natin itong seminar na to? Tonight, no? Tonight, you try to do a time circle. Damihan niyo yung circles. No? Well, depends. The number of circles define the number of hours. Okay, let me tell you again. Gawa ka ng time circle, i-divide mo siya, parang pizza, mag-drawing ka lang. Tonight, when you go to sleep, I would like you to mark the time kung anong oras ka natulog at anong oras ka gumising. Yung talagang gising ka na. Okay. After that, pag gising mo bukas, markahan mo yung number of hours kung gaano katagal ka natulog. Okay. So, as an example, para hindi masyadong mahirap. So, you ask yourself, where does your time go? Okay. This is a very simple exercise that I would like you to do siguro 3 times a week. 3 times in the coming week para malaman mo where your time goes. And you would probably be, well, perhaps for those individuals who are very self-aware, you will already know, Miss, napupunta yung oras ko sa Facebook. Miss, napupunta yung oras ko sa Shopee. Miss, napupunta yung oras ko sa Netflix. Okay, that's good. But we need the numbers. We need to know exactly how much of your time, ilang porsyento ng 24 hours mo ang ini-spend mo sa particular activity. So this is how it goes. Your time circle would be filled up. Kukulayan mo yan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So kunyari natulog ka mamaya ng alas 12 ng gabi, nagising ka na alas 6 ng umaga. So you will label it sleep 6. So ibig sabihin, 6 hours ka natulog. Okay? So after that, if you do something else again, you try to do that again. You try to do it with a different color o kahit hindi na iba-ibang kulay. Kahit ano na lang, lapis na lang, i-fill out mo lang yan para malaman mo kung ilang oras ang ini-spend mo. Kunyari, ang tagal mong maligo, ang tagal mong magbihis, ang tagal mo lahat 2 hours na actually, ngayon hindi na masyadong ganyan kasi hindi naman dahil hindi kayo naliligo. Hindi na hindi kayo naliligo. But it's because hindi na kaagad naliligo ang lahat ng tao sa umaga. Lahat ba kayo pagkagising nyo naliligo kayo? Type 1 if yes, type no if not. Lahat ba pagkagising naliligo kaagad? See? Oo. Ayoko nang tanungin yung lahat ba naliligo araw-araw. I don't want to ask that question anymore. Yun na lang kung naliligo ka kaagad pagkagising mo sa umaga. So kanya-kanya tayo ng oras ng paliligo. At saka siguro yung iba kanya-kanya ng araw ng schedule ng ligo. Alright. So that's just one of the things. No? So hindi naman ginagawa. Kasi typically on a regular school day, in a normal time, during the time when there was no COVID yet, most of our schedules are in the morning, di ba? Karamihan sa mga estudyante, umaga, pang umaga. So ang gisingan yan, talagang mga pang alas 6, alas 5, alas 4, lalo na if your school is far from your houses. Kaya ngayon, even though, ladies and gentlemen, even though the pandemic has taken a lot from us, it has also given us something, no? It has also given us time with our family, whether we like it or not. It has also given us taken out the travel time, the stress from being in the traffic. It has also allowed Mother Earth to heal, no? It has also allowed our air to heal. It has allowed us, for those individuals who would like other opportunities to learn other things, ayan, natuto silang magluto, natuto silang magsayaw, natuto silang maghalaman, kaya madaming lumabas na mga plantitos at plantitas. All right? So, do it that way and do it for the next 2 to 3 days, no? This would give you a number exactly how much time you are spending, no? Gaano kadaming oras ba ang ginagawa mo sa pag-travel, sa pagligo, na-realize mo, Miss, ang tagal ko palang maligo, 1 oras pala everyday, grabe. Siguro ang dumi mong tao. Okay. All right? And then you look at that. Oh, so class time, ayan. So makikita mo ngayon. And you would probably need to ask, how much time, and this is my question, how much time do you really spend studying? So, pwede kasing sa simula, binuksan mo yung libro mo at humarap ka dyan sa internet. Pero, hindi ibig sabihin nun that the concentration that you have means that you are studying. Akala ng mga magulang yun, naku, yung anak ko kawawa naman, pagod na kasi kanina pa yan nakaharap dyan sa internet, nagre-research. And then again, mommy, look at the tabs, no? You look at the tabs, tignan mo kung ano talaga, internet ba talaga, na research ba talaga ang ginagawa nila. Ayun, no, Shopee. Pinarinig sa akin, Shopee, no? So, by doing this experiment, by doing this assessment of where your time goes, you will really be surprised. Grabe pala, ang konti pala ng tulog ko, katulad nga ng isang nag-share. And it is not. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to note this. Sleep is very important, and I would like you to really appreciate sleep because it will take a toll on your health. Ang tulog po ngayon na bata pa kayo, parang hindi siya masyadong importante dahil hindi nyo mararamdaman, but it will take a toll on you. Maniningil po lahat ng ating unhealthy habits. Lahat ng ginagawa natin ngayon, in the end, it will bite us. No? So, as early as now, na mas bata pa kayo, try to establish yourself and your habits. Establish the good habits as far as stress, time, self-regulation. These things are concerned. To start with is for you to be able to start and see where your time goes. Okay. So, iba-iba tayo. Some people likes to have, sino dito ang meron pang planner na planner na papel? Diba? Yung iba kasi hindi nag-work talaga sa kanila yung electronics eh. Sino dito ang gamit ang telepono sa mga schedules, talagang nag-a-alarm, gamit na gamit yung mga calendars nila, yung online calendars nila. Sino dito ang ganyan? Very good. It means that you have already adjusted to the times and you have already used the technology to your advantage. So I can tell you, there's another talk which will happen on November 15. Well, just an example. I know what you're doing on November 15. A person who is very much aware of himself or herself as far as the calendar is concerned is one person who you would say would be organized kasi alam niya, ay, may gagawin ako. I will be free, pag tinignan niya yung kanyang kalendaryo, I will be free from 11 to 4. Pero after that, miss, meron akong schedule with the dentist. See? If you are using that very well, go. Go and make technology work for you. But there are a handful of individuals who still like the feeling of pencil on paper or ball pen on paper. Isa ako doon, no? Gusto ko pa rin nagki-keep ng planner, no? To write stuff. Although minsan, ningas kugon, no? Merong mga taong ningas kugon, yung sa simula, no? Alam mo naman tayo, parang lahat ng tao nagiinuman na ng kape para lang makakuha ng magandang Starbucks planner, di ba? Parang lahat talagang tuwang-tuwa sila sa mga ganyan. But ako, I would like actually what is being seen in the example, mas gusto ko yung meron akong freedom kasi I'm a little bit more scatterbrained. So medyo nahirapan ako na merong masyadong structured siya. Na for other individuals, mas gusto nila yung ganyan. Mas gusto nila may oras, mas gusto nila merong to do sa baba. Mas gusto nila na meron silang one, di ba? Look at your planners and they would have like the overview of a month. Makikita mo kung busy tong taong to o hindi. Meron naman mga planners na gusto nila yung daily, bawat page, daily. Meron naman na yung iba, 1 week calendar. No? Iba-iba tayo ng preference. And I would like you to look kung ano ang nagwo-work sa'yo. No? So planners, schedules. Ikaw ba ay merong schedule ng iyong klase at meron ka bang schedule ng mga bagay na hindi na-move katulad ng klase, katulad ng, for instance, they say when you make your schedule, you put in which ones first. You put in the not movable schedules katulad ng, syempre, ang school schedule, hindi movable yan. So, lagi yung, kung kunyari 7 to 8, 7 to 8 yan, hindi mo pwedeng, ay, nakakainis, ayokong magklase. Ilipat nga natin ng 8 to 9 si ma'am. Hindi pwede. It's not movable. The next thing that you put on your calendars are the ones which are flexible, no? Flexible, katulad ng yung oras ng tulog mo. So, pwedeng hindi ka naman masyadong OC or obsessive compulsive na kapag sinabing ang tulog mo 9 o'clock, talagang 9:01 naghihilik ka na. Meron bang ganun dito? Na pati oras ng tulog, anong oras kayo natutulog? Go! Pati oras ng tulog niya talagang nakaschedule, nakakatuwa naman. 10:30. Sige nga, let me see the regular average 5. Daniel. Okay, sorry naman, na-bother talaga ako. Maybe I need to talk to you later on. 11 or 12. Tingnan nyo ha. Listen, look at what midnight, 10, 12. And my question is, how many hours of sleep do you have? How many hours of sleep do you have daily? Ano po ang average time? Very good, very good. Nako, I see some red flags of people answering 4, 5. We need at least, 7 to 8 hours of sleep, ladies and gentlemen. Because in the time that we are sleeping, this is the time when our body repairs itself. Diyan po natin pinaprocess lahat ng mga learning na nag-take place. That is the reason, ladies and gentlemen, especially for students who are studying, pulling out an all-nighter, which means na nag-aral ka ng buong gabi dahil nag-cram ka. Good luck kung maalala mo yan because we have our own internal time. The first thing that your body would tell you when you yawn, di ba? Kapag, not unless alam ko boring ako at yung iba ay merong, ay, si Miss nakakaantok na. Iba yun. Pero yung yawn ng pagod, yung yawn kapag nag-aaral ka na, tapos nagganyan ka na, tapos sinabi, ay, okay, that's the first sign that your body overloaded. Yes, I know. Yes, I understand where some people are coming from, and I know that you will need to sacrifice. For some of us here who have a lot of hats, wearing a lot of hats, then yes, talagang it will take a toll on your body kasi nga ang dami mong kailangan gampanan, and some will have to be sacrificed, no? Now, your body will tell you, and sometimes I am telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it will be the body which will force you to rest. Bakit po yung ibang tao nagkaka-COVID din? Because they have low what? What? They have a low what? Very good. They have a low immune system. And because of that, pumapasok not only COVID, but all the rest of the viruses that are around, no? Kailangan we protect our fortress. We ensure that we practice all the healthy habits in order for us, again, to take care of these things that we need to take care of. To-do list. Okay, so schedules, ganyan, no? So we put the schedules. Maganda kung meron kang schedule for other things such as exercise, walking, taking care of your pet, taking care of, of course, if you're a mom, katulad nga nung isang participant natin, syempre, hindi mo naman ini-schedule yung anak mo. Pasok talaga yan. It's a 24/7. Hindi ka naman nag-go off into being a mother, no? Na parang, oops, hindi muna ako nanay and everything. Very good, no? Janeline, you block your time and you already place it there. But the thing is, everything that we are talking about takes self-discipline. Minsan, mas maganda yung schedule mo kaysa doon sa nangyayari sa buhay mo. Magaling kang mag-schedule pero hindi naman nasusunod kasi there are a lot of distractions that happen to us. Okay. There are also to-do lists. What do you do with your to-do list? Paano kayo? Saan nyo sinusulat ang to-do list ninyo? Okay, so some people, they write their to-do list where? In their phones. Yung iba, they have the stick notes, the sticky notes, yung mga phone for reminders, sticky notes sa phone or sticky notes sa laptop. Ayan, ang mga ano natin, no? That's how we work. And then, yung iba pa rin, sa papel pa rin, sa papel, in my Google Notes, calendar. Very good. If you are not answering any of these things, then you might as well start to practice all these things. Why? the human brain can take a lot, yes. But it is not as dependable. Imagine niyo, the human brain is running your entire body. Nandito ang central functioning natin, nandiyan yung ating control. So, pag sinabi mo forgetful ka, no. The brain is really working so hard that all the things, katulad ngayon, gusto mong matuto, if ever gusto mo talagang matuto, you are focused and you would like to take down notes, no? Now, the brain should be aided with other things. Miss, ayoko, mas gusto kong tinatandaan, but you have a tendency. Anyone has a tendency, not unless you have a perfect memory. Who has perfect memory here? Wala naman eh. No? Kung nanonood ka ng Suits, si Mike, siya yung isang lawyer na naging lawyer kasi na-memorize niya. No? He has a perfect memory. Talagang pag nagbasa siya, talagang what you call that, photographic memory. And those people who are really gifted kasi ang galing ng memory niya. Kilala niya yung mga names ng lahat ng mga kaklase niya simula elementary. Wow! But look at your memory. Is your memory dependable? Para isipin mo lang lahat kung ano yung sinabi ni teacher? Hindi. That is the reason that you have aids. Whether it is a notebook, a small notepad, or whatever. What I did was to actually write my things to do on our big mirror in the in the room. Tapos yung husband ko sabi niya, Heart, ang dami naman nakasulat. So parang siya yung nasa-stress kasi nakikita niya, wala pa akong natitik dun sa mga no? Wala pa akong natitik. Okay. If you have a to-do list, let's talk about to-do list, people. Ang to-do list natin, which ones? Do you prioritize your to-do list? We have a tendency to check dahil gusto natin ng meron niyang priority, kunyari A, B, C, D. A is the top priority, pinaka-importante, no? Tapos pababa na siya. Minsan meron tayong D fever, ibig sabihin, tanggalin muna natin para makapag-check tayo. O sige na nga, gupitin ko muna yung kuko ko. Yehey, check. So ang tendency is for us to take out the very menial things that we put in our to-do list, and what are we left with? What are we left with? We are left with the major things, with the most important things. Yun na. At yan na ang sources of stress natin. At yan na ang sources natin of panic, anxiety, and all that thing. Hula-balu. Because hindi natin sila nilalagyan ng kahit konting effort. Okay. So, if this is your practice, then tignan mo na kung kaya mo nang i-start, i-trim yung practice na yan at baluktutin at tanggalin. A bad habit cannot be made into a better or a good habit overnight. Everything needs a lot of energy at mas mahirap tanggalin ang bad habit. You agree with me? At mas mabilis makahawa. Ang mga negative, for some reason, mas mabilis makahawa. Sumama ka sa isang taong pintasero o pintasera. After a while, naku, hawa ka na dyan. Pero sumama ka sa isang taong mabait at laging on time, late ka pa late ka pa din, di ba? For some reason, parang lugi tayo eh, di ba? So, it's hard to break a bad habit. So, kung ang magiging learning mo from this talk, from spending and giving me your time is for you to start, chopping off a little bit. Sabi nga nila, mas maganda yung nipping it in the bud. What does that mean? Simula pa lang yung sungay, gupitin mo na. Nasimulan pa lang, kunyari nagsigarilyo ka, naku, parang nagustuhan mo kasi parang mas nagiging alive ang utak mo kapag meron kang nicotine fix, no? No disrespect to those who actually smoke cigarettes, but I am telling you that these are the things that we can nip in the bud, no? Kung bad habit mo, kunyari, kung ang habit mo is immediately pagkabigay ni teacher, pag upo mo, gawa na, it's not a bad habit. But do not be so compulsive, no? Do not be so inflexible. Na parang tinatawag ka na nung kapatid mo, gusto kang kausapin, pero ayaw mong kausapin dahil gusto mong tapusin yung assignment mo. I am telling you, take care of that. Yes, nauuna ka, kakatapos lang ng pwede mong bigyan ng oras ang kapatid mo. You get the story, you get the idea. For you to be able to take care of your kairos, take care of your chronos. But it doesn't mean na panay perfectionist ka na pagdating sa chronos mo. Ang nangyayari, panay oras-oras, kailangan kong gawin to, kailangan kong gawin. You become like that. And, you know, the people around you, your loved ones, hindi ka na nila nakakita. No? So it has to be a balance. Okay? Now, there is something that we call time quadrant. And I would like you to take note of this, ladies and gentlemen. This actually came from one of the 7 habits of Stephen Covey. First things first, if I'm not mistaken. No? So one of the 7 habits is, actually pag inisip mo, he just placed it in such a manner that it's more understandable. According to this time quadrant, yung lahat ng schedule natin ngayon, lahat, okay? Do this. So I already told you to do your time circle. I'm also asking you later on to do your time quadrant. Anong ibig kong sabihin? Tignan mo lahat ng to-do list mo at ilagay mo siya sa iba-ibang quadrant. Okay, let's look at quadrant 1. Quadrant 1 is urgent and important. Ibig sabihin, kailangan ngayon na at importante ito. That's quadrant 1. Let's move to quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 is not urgent. Hindi kailangan ngayon gawin yan. But it's important. No? Anong sample nun? No? Sige, mamaya na tayo mag-example. And then quadrant 3. It is urgent. No? Urgent siya. Kailangan na. But it's not important. No? Meron palang ganun. Yes, merong mga ganun. And quadrant 4 is not urgent and not important. Okay, let's go for quadrant 4, ladies and gentlemen. We are going into quadrant 4, and I would like you to give me an example of some of the things that we do which are in. Okay. Thank you, Clarissa. What are some of the things that we do in quadrant 4? Ano yung mga not urgent, not important, pero kadalasan, dyan po tayo napupunta, lalo na kapag na-overwhelm na tayo dahil ang dami na nating bagay doon sa quadrant 1. Pansinin ninyo, di ba? Shopping sa Shopee, true. Is it urgent? Not unless ang kailangan mong bilhin sa Shopee ay something which is, life and death matter. Ang hinahabol mo lang yung 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12. Video games is not urgent, not important, pero well, medyo harsh siya dito, no, sa quadrant 4. It says eliminate. Reduce greatly, significantly reduce. Kasi some of the things, yes, naku, Jenny Lane, ako din, ang hilig ko dyan sa DIY. Parang nauubos yung oras mo kakanood. Ay, ang galing, ginawa niya yun. Tapos after a while, hala, ganitong oras na, ginabi na ako, kakanood niyang mga hacks na yan. Nagsimula yan dati, ngayon lahat na ng klase may hacks. Ang i-hack mo yung sarili mo, ayusin mo. Okay, that is in the quadrant 4, not urgent and not important. Ngayon, let's go to the not important. Urgent but not important. Watching what ifs in YouTube. Ayan. Ay, ano yun? Maganda ba yun? Titingnan ko yan. Okay, nasimula na sa origami. Ayan, see? So, urgent but not important, mga things that you need to do. For instance, here in the house, ako yung frontliner namin, so may pinabibili sa akin yung mother-in-law ko. Pero, pwede naman na i-order ko yan. Pwede naman na itawag ko yan for delivery. Of course, it would have its trade-off. May trade-off din. Bayad, pera. Okay. If you do not have that, then ikaw din ang gagawa nun. But, you need to be able to ensure that the more important things, ayan, tama, Crisanta, paglabas para bumili, ang problema pa natin, marami sa ating mga tao, ang matitinik. Ano yung matitinik? Mahilig sumabit. Di ba pag matinik ang isang bagay, sumasabit? Pinabili lang sa labas ng nanay niya, inaabot na ng 45 minutes, samantalang yung tindahan nandyan lang. Ano nangyari? Yung isa na basketball, nag-shoot lang ng isa, na paupo, na pagkwento, ganyan. Hawak-hawak pa niya yung pinabili sa kanya. Or inutusan lang na tignan sa Mercury kung merong ganito. Nasaan na? Wala. Okay. Reading emails. Okay. Well, reading emails depends, no? If it's just going through the emails and reducing, well, it's something that needs to be done. Okay? But if it's something personal, you cannot delegate it, di ba? No? So yes, if it's just going through the, what do you call that, the spam, nako, make sure that you permanently delete all those spam. Okay, no? Tapos, where do you think should we be spending our time on? Which quadrant do you think should we be spending our time on? Which quadrant do you think is the most effective and efficient we will become if we will spend our time here in this quadrant? Quadrant? Naka-direct message talaga. Ay, okay. Yes. Yes. Ay, mga direct message ang sagot nila. Okay. All right. So I see some people who says that we should be spending our time in quadrant 1. What about the others? Saan tayo dapat nagsispend ng maraming oras? Actually, marami talaga sa atin, especially those who are not organized, spend so much time in quadrant 1. We spend a lot of our time there. But, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to listen. If you would like to be more successful in life, you would like to be healthier and happier, it's good that you are doing your things in quadrant 2. Bakit? Eventually, kapag yung quadrant 2 mo, hindi mo ginagawa, saan napupunta siya? Lumilipat siya sa quadrant 1. Nagiging urgent and important na siya. Eh kung ginagawa mo siya nang hindi pa siya urgent, that it's still important, no? These are the things that you need to take care of so that they don't go to quadrant 1, so that your quadrant 1 is not so full that you don't need to panic and stress so much because everything is deadline, lahat na red flag. Tinatawagan ka ng teacher mo, dito tinatawagan ka na ng guidance counselor mo, tinatawagan ka na ng school kasi ang dami mong hindi nagawa. May kailangan kang bayaran, natanggal ka ngayon dun sa online, kailangan mo mag-submit, sabi ng teacher mo, i-email, nawalan ka ng load. All of these things fell in quadrant 1. So ikaw, lahat siya urgent and important now. Okay? And I hope that you are starting to realize where your things are going. So after the talk, I would also like you to do that urgent and important this time quadrant. Tignan mo, natitrigger. Tama si Crisanta, natitrigger ka na kasi after nyan wala na makakakausap sa'yo. Mainit ka na, mainit na ulo mo. Tapos lahat na sabi, huwag niyo akong guluhin. Time na nga to eh, deadline na, hindi na ako abot. See? And what are you doing? You are already going into other important things in your life. Relationships, family, your loved ones. Kasi nga, panic ka na. Kasi nga, na-trigger ka na. Alright? Okay. You need to prioritize. You need to prioritize and look at that example. No, there was this teacher who said that if he had big rocks and he puts it in a jar, meron pa bang space? So pag nilagay mo yung big rocks mo, will there be space? So the student said yes. Okay. And then the professor said, what if I have some stones and I put it in the jar? Would there be space? And the class was saying yes. Okay. And what if I have some sand? Can I still put it in the jar? And naturally, the class was already getting it. So the class said yes, there's still space. And he said, what if I have water? Would there still be space? And the student said, yes. Huh? Yes, thank you. That nakita mo. Ngayon, the professor said, these things are important things. Ayan. So sinasabi niya na yung malalaking rocks, those are the things that you need to do. Yun yung mga importanteng bagay sa buhay mo na dapat mong inuuna na ilagay doon sa jar. Otherwise, if you fill it up the other way around, meaning to say, inuna mong lagyan ng tubig yan, sinunod mong lagay yung mga sand mo, saka mo nilagay yung mga rocks mo, makawala ng space yung mga importanteng bagay which are the rocks. Okay? I hope you're getting the analogy because this is a very effective analogy. Kasi ang nangyayari, ang nawawalan ng priority ngayon, yung mga mas importanteng bagay that you should really be taking care of, and these are represented by the big rocks. Kaya siya yung inuuna, katulad ng mga bagay na dapat inuuna natin. For instance, in school, the big projects are more important than the smaller ones. But the thing is, we do not want to do them, we put them off. Ayan, yung manyana habit natin. We need to be able to prioritize and tell ourselves what is the most important of all these to-do list. You ask yourself that question. Ang dami. Alin ang mga importante dito? Check, 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 check. Okay, yan ang dapat kong unahin. Kahit na the tendency for you is to go away and say, yun na munang maliliit kasi mas mabilis i-check, mas gusto kong mag-check. No, no. You need to know what your priorities are. Okay? Next. So you ask yourself, paano ka ba mag-aral? No? So it's important that especially being student, especially now in this pandemic, you ask yourself, ang hirap na mag-aral, miss, kasi parang pagkatapos, yan na lang nang yan, no? Nakaharap, walang structure, and wala namang nagpa-follow up sa akin, wala naman na nagtatanong sa akin. Pag chinek, no? It's just, wala na masyadong interaction. So, even then, and since we are already going back to I hope that we will be going back to the face-to-face, we hope that we will prepare, no? So you ask yourself, saan ka nag-aaral? Okay, I know, hindi sa school. Alam ko everybody studies where they are studying, but in which part of the house do you study? Ayan, okay, that's my question. Saan kayo nag-aaral? Saang lugar ng bahay kayo nag-aaral? Eh, syempre naman, miss, pag maliit lang bahay namin, eh di kung saan ako, isang square lang po yung bahay namin, di doon ako, okay lang. You don't need to answer. But for some, there are people, ayan, okay. It is important where you study, ayan, okay. Because that is where you will get a lot of distractions. May mga taong nag-aaral sa dining area kasi gusto nila kumakain sila habang nag-aaral sila, okay. Meron naman mga taong, okay, marami talaga mga external distraction, lalo na ngayon na hindi naman kayo makakapunta sa library. Other students, I think they go outside the house. Lumalabas pa talaga sila kasi kunyari magugulo yung mga kapatid nila, yung aso nandyan or whatever. So, they try to look for a place where they can study. Room, very good. At saka, you know, we are creatures of habit. I would like you to listen. We are creatures of habit. Kapag doon ka sa isang lugar na binabalik-balikan mo kung saan ka nag-aaral, alam na ng katawan mo na kapag umupo ka doon, it's time for you to focus. We are creatures of habit. I am telling you. That's the reason why, sino dito ang nag-aaral sa kwarta ko? Ayun, may nagsalita na sa akin. Sino dito ang nag-aaral sa ibabaw ng kama niya? Okay, so somebody already told me na merong nag-aaral sa akin. What do you think is the effect if you study on the bed? True.
Nakakaantok.
Because we are creatures of habit. You are confusing your body. You are telling your body when you sit down on your bed and you study. Okay, nag-aaral ka. So sanay na yung katawan mo, no? Tuwing uupo ka dyan, mag-aaral ka. The thing there is, the body now actually connects itself to studying when you sit down on the bed. Pag matutulog ka na minsan, you might find it difficult to go to sleep. On the other way around, kapag syempre ang kama mo naman talaga ay love na love natin para tulugan, ang tendency is nakakatulog ka kasi mas naa-attach ng katawan mo yung bed sa pagtulog at pagpahinga. So pag inupo mo yung sarili mo sa bed, at lalo na para sa atin, true, Crisanta, lalo na kapag kulang ka sa tulog, at lalo na kapag nag-aaral ka na gusto mo kunyaring memorize yan, hihiga ka, tapos pipikit ka, di ba? Pipikit ka at sabi mo, tingnan ko nga kung memorize ko na. Tulog ka ganyan. O ano, pagising mo, ano nangyari sa'yo? Pagising mo, alas 8 na, alas 9 na, exam na. Akala mo na memorize mo, meron ka pang tingnan ko, ako memorize ko, pipikit ako. O, good luck sa'yo. Kasi, the body, we are creatures of habit. No? When we do things regularly, it becomes part of who we are. That's why sinabi nila, develop a habit. That's why you become virtuous. Diba? Kasi the virtues, ano yan, the good habits, respectful. After a while, it comes naturally for you. Ganun siya. So, ayan, iidlip, tama. O, tapos pagising mo, tapos na yung nangyari sa akin yan, no? I'm holding a class, siguro yung pagod na yung estudyante. Tapos nagbabay na kami, andun pa rin siya. Yung pala, pagising daw niya, wala na kaming lahat. Umami naman yung estudyante, nag-sorry nga siya. May sorry, nakatulog ako. And it happens. I'm sure some of you, half of you are sleeping, half of you are doing whatever. Ito ang challenge natin. And it's just real talk. Naiintindihan ko kayo, no? So, where you study matters. Kasi sayang eh. Mag-aaral ka na rin lang, tapos sa totoo lang, yung concentration time mo, ganyan lang. 2 oras ka na nakaupo dyan, tinatry mo. Ano nangyayari pag nakakatulog ka? Di ba pagbasa mo, pag pumikit ka, babalik ka saan? Sa first page, di ba? Pagtingin mo, ay, ulitin ko nga, first page. Hindi ka na makaalis sa first page. Hanggang oras na, ay, oras na ng klase. Ano sabi mo? Bahala na. Those are habits that you are already starting to. Ang habit talagang ano yan eh. Para yung cavities kapag hindi ka nagtutoothbrush ng tama tsaka nagpo-floss ng tama. Ang tigas ng tanggalin, kailangan na ng dentista. Hindi katulad kapag tama ang pag-brush mo ng teeth mo, tama ang pag-floss mo, hindi nagbi-build up. Nip it in the bud. Simulang bad habit pa lang. Anuhin mo na yung sarili mo, no? Lagyan mo ng rubber band dito. Ganunin mo. Okay? Para alam mo na, oops, bad habit, do not develop that. Okay? Next. When do you study? What time do you study? When do you study? Immediately after? Tell me when you study. Sige, pwede kayong mag-audio, pwede kayong mag-chat. Tuwing kailan kayo nag-aaral? Okay, so some people have their exact time when they study. Ayan, so may nag-aaral na after lunch, after class, immediately after class, meron naman yung gabi. Pagkatapos ng household chores, very good. Meron yung mostly gabi bago matulog. Okay, mornings, may mga tao dito. Iba-iba tayo ng mga effective time natin. And some individuals would like to study immediately after the class. Kasi bakit? Nare-reinforce pa yung sinabi ng teacher na nandito, no? So pagkatapos, ayun ang cute nung isa, when everyone, when exam is fast approaching, thank you for being, Edralyn, for being real. No? After class, especially pag recitation po kinabukasan, very good. Now the thing is, when you study immediately after, nare-reinforce. If I tell you, the memory is like this. If I tell you 7116164, can you write that? Write that.
711644.
Oh, mali. Next. Write it down, what I said. Okay. All right. So, the memory is when we reinforce our memory by repetition, it's there in the first layer of the memory, no? So, kaya. Pero if I told you that, and nagkita tayo after 2 weeks at wala ka namang pakialam dyan, that number is not significant to you. And I ask you, Robin, ano yung number na sinabi ko during my talk? Eh baka nga pati ako hindi mo maalala. Sino ka ba? Alright? So, that's the thing, no? Being able to reinforce it immediately, medyo nadadagdagan mo, nalulubog mo yung layer. Kapag nag-aaral ka, tapos tinry mong ulit-ulitin, sometimes, even without understanding yet, na-memorize mo pa lang, susunod mo na yung comprehension. Pag mas naiintindihan mo na, that's the reason why we make mnemonics, no? Na meron kang, kunyari, you try to do this words that would mean something to you. For instance, I'm sure some of us here still know our periodic table, di ba? Yung hydrogen, helium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, by BC, nofne, iron, magnesium. So all these things, kasi meron kang something, mas clear yung mind, mas easy sa akin makapag-study. Very good, no? So, it means that works for you, na nag-aaral ka agad. Kaya lang, yung iba hindi eh, meron silang mga obligasyon. So, bibitawan nila yan, babalikan nila yan. So, may mga tao naman na, okay, why is it not so it's not really suggested that you study after eating. Why? Why is it not so good to study after eating? Because, who knows? Bakit bawal? Tinatamad na po. Tama naman, no? Di ba? Parang buhay baboy lang. Pagkakain, gusto matulog. Kasi totoo, no? That we are, pagkakain natin kasi the body is supposed to be digesting. So yan yung trabaho nung katawan. The brain would also try to help out, try to tell the body to digest the food that it's intaking. Therefore, yung iba sa atin, well, there's this notion na merong inaantok nga kasi nga, we are just paused and then we are breaking down the food that we are taking in. Kaya nakakatulog tayo. So, if you put in information at gusto mo mag-concentrate, minsan hindi masyadong kinakaya ng brain natin kasi nga inaantok tayo. Minsan, kadalasan kapag kakain natin, 'di ba? Kaya nga naging ugali. Actually, we got it from the Spaniards na sila after lunch nagkakaroon sila that something we called galing naman siya, no? Yung iba daw immediately pagkakain, habang pagkakain at busog na busog siya, mas lalo siyang, well, if it works for you, then no kind of science can explain it, pero go ahead. This is what I'm telling you. There are golden nuggets of tips which do not work for you. Okay lang yan. Let go of those tips. Hindi yan applicable sa'yo. Use what is applicable for you in order that you become more effective and efficient. Okay? So there, no? So, it's not good. Like for instance, yung nandun sa banyo, you're doing number 1, number 2, tas dun ka nagtatry mag-review ng notes mo kasi matagal kang magbanyo. Okay, bakit naman? Kasi you need oxygen. 'Di ba? You need oxygen in order for you. Kailangan nakakahinga ka ng mabuti, kailangan tama yung lighting, lighting kasi importante na nakikita mo at yung brain mo, hindi ka, di ba pag nasa banyo ka, syempre hindi na oxygen yung nakukuha mo dyan, carbon dioxide na. Mas mahirap. Mas maganda that you engage most of your senses when you are studying. Okay? Kasi mas maaalala mo, lalo na kapag may emotions. Kapag nilagyan mo ng storya tungkol sa mga equations na yan, lagyan mo ng storya sa utak mo, mas maaalala mo. Tingnan mo yung sama ng loob mo nung 7 years old ka pa, hanggang ngayon naalala mo pa, di ba? Okay. All right. Now you ask yourself, bakit ka ba nag-aaral? And this is when you are most demotivated because of so many things that you need to do. Ayoko na, you feel like giving up, but you need to look at the goal. Look at the goal. Look at the goal. Anong gusto mo? Gusto kong magkaroon ng maayos na trabaho para makatulong. So go. So there are a lot of unwanted things, hard things that you need to go through in order for you to reach that goal. Always keep your eyes on the goal. Bakit ka nag-aaral? Nag-aaral ka para magkaroon ka ng skills and knowledge in order that you will be able to apply it, in order that you will be able to, let's say, become a good businesswoman, in order for you to become a good restaurateur, in order for you to become a good nurse or doctor. You study in order to store the knowledge, in order that you feel you would like to do it, in order that your hands would move in such a manner that you become educated. Kaya sinasabihan tayo na kapag edukado ka, para kang walang pinag-aralan. Kasi more is expected from people who have studied. No? Katulad ng, kunyari, itong eleksyon na to, nagpasok ng eleksyon, no? Kapag ikaw ay isang mag-aaral, dapat marunong kang magbasa kung ano ang mga tama, ano ang fake news at hindi. Kasi mas malaki ang responsibilidad mo dahil ikaw nag-aral, ikaw marunong mag-research. Look at all these candidates and then mag-set up ka dyan ng mga isulat mo yung mga pangalan nila at lagyan mo ng mga bagay na gusto mo sa leader at dun mo sila iskoran. Pahirapan mo sila. Huwag kang basta-basta nakikinig sa kaliwat kanan. Nakakita ka lang na nagkaroon ng motorcade o nakakita ka lang na parang mas marami dito. Doon ka na. No. We are all obligated because we are educated individuals. No? So lahat yan, i-arm mo sa sarili mo para sa tuwing tinatamad ka, ay, ano ba to? Physics na to. Ay, ano ba to? And then you say, the end. The end. Keep the end in mind. which is for you to become successful. All right? Now, you need to be able to concentrate. How do you concentrate? Now, get something in front of you, no? And then, i-practice nyo to later on. Kumuha ka ng mansanas, ubas, kung ano man yung bagay na nandyan. Kung wala kang fruit, okay lang, wag ka nang bumili. Anything, put it in front of you and then look at it. And then see what you think of it. Okay? And then tingnan mo kailan na kung ano-ano yung pumapasok sa utak mo. Parang hindi yata masarap to. Ay, kanina yung nanay ko. Ayun. Ibig sabihin, the concentration is already going away. Okay? You try to practice every day and try to concentrate. Let's say, look at the orange. If you're looking at the orange, you look at the orange. So you look at the oranges and then you see that it has specks, diba? So you try to just concentrate on the orange and then you look at the size of the orange and everything at dapat walang papasok na iba sa utak mo. Walang side thoughts. Alam nyo, sa utak natin, mahirap kontrolin yan. That's the reason why you need to be able to practice concentration so that you may be able to apply the same principles when you are studying. Okay? Distractions. It's very difficult to do. Nako, napakarami na ngayon sa harap. Kaya ngayon, I'm sure, siguro mga ngayon, 70% na yung walang yung hindi nakikinig. Kasi miss, ang haba-haba na ng talk mo and when you make your talk too long, you lose 80% of your audience kasi tapos na yung ano nila, attention span nila. And that also happens, mas umahaba ang oras mo na iginugugol kapag ikaw ay distracted. And believe you me, lalo kang hindi nakaka-move on sa iyong mga dapat gawin. Now, divide and conquer. Kapag masyado ka na overwhelmed dyan sa sinabi 40-page research, okay, 40-page, what do you call that, thesis, kunyari ganyan, or research paper with a minimum of 20 na lang, 20 pages. Now, overwhelmed ka na agad, di nga ako makagawa ng unang sentence eh. Okay? So, you try to break down the parts. Ano ba unang dapat gawin? Basahin mo muna instructions. Yan muna. Just stay with the material for the next 10 minutes. Wala ka ibang gagawin. Yung bagay na ayaw mo. Okay? I actually have another question pala. What do you study first? Kapag nag-aaral ka, do you study the difficult subjects first or do you study the easier subjects first? Go. What do you study? In real life, anong inaaral mo? Yung mas madaling subject o yung mas mahirap na subject kapag kailangan mong gawin ang mga bagay? Difficult, okay? Hard ones, okay? Mas mahirap. Easy, the easier. O yung mga mahilig mag-check na mga to-do, ayan, mga mas madadali yung easy. Bakit ganon? Why do you study the easy ones first? Okay. Why do you study the easy ones first? And why do you study the more difficult ones first? Who can give me an answer? Bakit kailangan nating aralin? Okay. Now, why do you think you're studying, why do you study the more difficult subject first for those individuals who said difficult? But inuuna nyo yun? It's the hard ones done first, task gets as easy. The hard ones are done first, each task gets easy as I go. Very good. The easier because it's a short time to do. Kasi po mas kailangan pagtuunan ng pansin. All right. Now, I know that para after hard po, para pagkatapos na mahirap, mas madali na lang matapos sa mga next assignments. Okay, very good. Now, in principle and in science and in research, they say, but again, if it does not apply to you, don't, no? You need to study it's more effective to study the hard subjects first. Why? Because when you start studying, your brain is still fresh and you're still active and you're still alert. So it will be, it would take more time and effort for you to be able to study the difficult subjects first. Mas matagal yan at mas mahirap. So, kayang-kaya mo na, especially, kunyari, gusto mo si ma'am or si sir kasi nice yung subject niya, mabait siya, tapos madali, naiintindihan mo. So, pagdating sa dulo, it takes less effort for you to do that kasi gusto mo yung teacher, gusto mo yung subject, interesado ka talaga, lagay mo na sa dulo yan, save the best for last. Kasi para siyang, candy, naunahin mo muna yung gamot. Yung gamot, take it like a pill, di ba? Sabi nila na parang he's like a pill kasi parang ang sama ng lasa eh. Parang ayoko yan eh. Pero you need to be able to do that kasi fresh pa.
Parang yun iba ang ugali. Parang mas malayo sa kanila. Malayo sa kanila. Kasi yung nakaraan sayang. Hindi ko kilala yan pero
Okay, thank you. Now, here's something that I would like for you to listen to this, no? Suppose someone gives you a pen, a sealed, solid colored pen. You couldn't see how much ink it had. It might run dry after the first few tentative words, or last just long enough to create a masterpiece, or several that would last forever and make a difference in of things. You don't know where you begin. You don't know before you begin. Under the rules of the game, you really never know. You have to take the chance. Actually, no rule of the game states you must do anything. Instead of picking up and using the pen, you just leave it on a shelf or in a drawer where it will dry up. Used. But if you do decide to use it, what would you do with it? How would you play the game? Would you plan and plan before you ever wrote a word? Would your plans be so extensive that you never even got to the writing? Or would you take the pen in hand, plunge right in it, and just do it, struggling to keep up with the twists and turns of the torrents of words that take you where they take you? You write and carefully, as if the pen might run dry the next moment, or would you pretend to believe that the pen will write forever and proceed accordingly? And what would you write? Of love, hate, fun, misery? Try to please yourself or others, or yourself by writing for others. Would your strokes be tremblingly timid or brilliantly bold? Fancy with a flourish or plain? Would you even write? Once you have the pen, no rule says you have to write. Wouldn't you sketch, scribble, doodle, or draw? Would you stay in or on the lines? Or see no lines at all, even if there were? Or are they? There's a lot to think about here, isn't there? Now, suppose someone gave you a life, right? So I know that it's very difficult for us to be able to establish time management skills in just a one-time sitting. And I did do an overtime already. So I hope that with what I left you with, it's something that has pinched you a bit, that has tapped you at the shoulders, for you to be able to at least look into your life and notice that you are alive and you have to be thankful and you are given the time today to be able to spend with your loved ones, for you to be able to properly live. And I hope we will all do just that. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you very much for listening. I know it took a longer time than you expected, but I'd like to thank everyone for listening and for coming.